Hello Leo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my February 2020 horoscope report for you. This is one of my favorite months of the year because of all of the sweet aspects. January at least did not have any retrograde energies from the personal planets, and so it did kind of signal go, 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 do, and that energy of just like pushing as much as you can until the first week of February is still in effect, because the deeper we get into February, the personal planet retrogrades that dominate the rest of 2020 are going to take over. And it's not that you won't be able to do anything or can't do anything, it's just there's an inward and backward movement that may slow some things down and may cause you to be doing a lot of focusing on the past and your inner world that can detract from launches and trying to move certain things forward. So make the most of this month, especially the first week before. Well, we just got sweet aspects. There are way more sweet aspects this month than salty ones. And whenever that happens, I get super excited because it's not usual that that happens. You know, sometimes it's more salty ones, sometimes it's about an even balance. But whenever we've got this, you know, these sweet spots, we have to enjoy them while they're there, right? So I'm excited about that. The overstimulation for Leo will continue, though, with that started from the planets moving through Aquarius and making oppositions, 180-degree angles to your placements, because as the planets move into Pisces, they're making challenging angles to your placement as well. What all of this energy is asking for is for you to slow down and take some time within your relationship space. Your relationships may need some work, and if they don't, great. Then maybe this slowing down could cause you to just savor the juiciness that you have and just to go deeper with the person in wonderful ways. It doesn't have to spell trouble. But if there is anything unresolved, or if you've been so busy doing other things and not taking time to cater to your relationships, whether they're your children, your parents, your spouse, your coworkers, whatever it is, all relationships, that energy is coming in for focus, and some things that you've been avoiding could come up, and some things that you've kind of had in the backdrop could come into the forefront. The energy of relationships brings me to a point in your chart that's pretty exciting that I want to talk about. So if you've followed astrology and you've paid attention, you've noticed probably, if not, I will tell you, that most of the archetypal energies of the planets that we look at in astrology, general astrology, are male archetypes. So it's just the moon and Venus of the ones that people commonly discuss that have the female archetypal energies. The rest of them are male. And of course, this is no surprise, seeing as we've been, in a polarity time for, many thousands of years, that it's a male-dominated, patriarchal-dominated sort of energy. So even that has reflected to our view of the stars and the messages that we have and the archetypal energies that we're using. But the polarity is switching now again to go back to more of the feminine, the divine feminine coming back as we shore up and heal the divine masculine at the same time. So the goddesses, the star goddesses, have been speaking to me very loudly over the last years, and I've been waiting for the right time to start to bring them in, and now is that time. So you'll notice that the divine feminine star goddess voice is going to start coming in through my work here, and so it's very exciting. So the first goddess that wants to talk is Juno. Juno has, like all of the archetypal energies, has a rich mythological history that's very complex, but the simplistic way of understanding her is that she rules relationships. Okay, so and it's not just marriage. Okay, she's associated with marriage, but it's not just marriage that she rules. And from the end of 2019 through almost all of 2020, like around September, she's actually in the sign of Libra, which is the energy of partnerships as well, and marriage, but again, any kind of relationship. So for everyone in the zodiac, this energy of getting your relationships on track, working with others, finding cooperation is a major theme offered by what she's whispering. Now, specifically for Leos, this energy is focused around, now we're going to break you guys up a little. Okay, so what I'm about to say is going to be true for all Leo placements, and then there's an additional piece for those of you towards the end where she has certain messages she's working on still for you. Okay, so for all Leo placements, the partnership energy, the cooperation energy is specifically focused around your communication and expression. Okay, this also has to do with transportation. So if you need a new car, maybe a family member can help you. Maybe you need to borrow money. Like getting help from other people as it relates to fine-tuning, getting a device that you need, getting a computer, getting a car, improving your transportation. If you need a surgery, you might need help. Like things having to do with mobility and communication may require you to get the help from other people. All right, so I know Leo energies tend to be very stubborn. It's a fixed sign. I can do it myself. You want to follow your own flow, and I appreciate that. At the same time, Juno is telling you you might need help from other people, and specifically when it comes to mobility and communication, okay? And this also has to do with your creative expression. If you've wanted to write a book and you don't know where to start, you might need to take a class. If you've been writing, you might need help with an editor. If you're, something having to do with how you express yourself from a creative perspective, you might need the help of somebody else in order to bring that out or to bring you further along in the process. Now, this is beautiful timing because also happening this month, Mars is moving through your 5th house. And this, again, is true for all of you because wait, hold on. Before I get there, I told you that those of you towards the end of the sign, Juno has some additional messages for you. Okay, so if you're born like in the last 10 degrees of the sign, or like 20 to 29 degrees, or like the last 10 days of the birthdays, Juno is still also bringing messages about you needing help in your finances. Okay, so needing help in any area of life is just a message for all zodiac members, everybody from Juno. But there's something specific about you guys at the end there where there's this extra focus on your sustainability and your finances that you might need help for. You might need someone to help repair your credit. You might need somebody to help you buy a house. You might need something. So look into the ways that you can get help, especially about your finances for those of you at the end. Okay, so now Mars is moving through the 5th house, and even for those of you at the end, this is true. It's going to take, a little bit into February for this to be true for those of you towards the end, but it is going to happen for all of you this month. When Mars is in the 5th house, it brings this fever, this fervor towards 5th house related things, which have to do with your creativity. This can also have to do with children, having children, kids that you have, working with kids, ideas of programs for kids, singing, dancing, athleticism, acting, anything that puts you center stage out in front of people. You might find a push where you want to finally do something with this. Now remember, if you have a big launch or something you really want to step into in a big way and you've never done it before, try to lean towards the beginning of the month. If it's something that's coming back around that you are interested in, any time in the month and any time in the year, that's part of what the retrogrades are good for, is going back to something that you already did before. And you might find this theme getting stronger this month, and as the year progresses, that things you thought about in the past, things you started in the past, you might get back to them. You might, dust off your guitar. You might bring back art projects or something from the past. Maybe you did acting or modeling when you were younger, and then that's coming back around again, something like that. So Mars shows us that you'll have support there. It shows us that you'll have energy for it, and you'll have impetus, and you'll have restlessness. Like, come on, let's go already. Let's get this going, I always call Mars the border collie of the zodiac because it's like, if you've ever seen border collies, they're like, my one border collie will bring a pine needle in from the yard and just put it on my leg and stare at me and then throw the pine needle, and then she'll bring it back. And she's completely obsessed with the pine needle. And that's what Mars does. It's like you get on this certain whatever it is, and this is the area of your life that's being, shown up in a big way. There's still a lot of energy also in your house of health and focus on getting your physical body in order, new regimens, trying to get diagnostics and things like that have been a long-term theme that are continuing to show up in a big way. So if you have any symptoms, it would be good for you to check into them. If you have to get tests, of course, you get them at any time you need them, but more towards the beginning of the month has more clarity in the testing process, because once we get into the retrogrades, things, tend to be murky. Sometimes they have to be redone. Sometimes they get re-questioned or reconsidered. So the earlier time for diagnostics and things like that have more clear energy. So let's see what else here. Okay, so I talked about how you have this strong focus on through your 7th and 8th house of partnerships. One of the planets moving through there is Venus. And Venus is, it wants to bring harmony. Okay, so if you're trying to meet somebody, if you're trying to do something with money and you're trying to make financial contacts, Venus can help boost that for you. So just know that you have extra support there. For those of you towards the beginning of the sign, that support's going to be more towards the beginning of the month. And for the rest of the sign, you'll have that for the whole month. All right, so the summary of this month is get everything you got to get done in the first week if you can of big things that are tilting towards the past or that you're reviewing or that you're considering or that you're playing with. You can do those anytime. If you get into something contractually, the first week is more clear, but the following retrograde might test it. If you get into things contractually towards the middle and end of the month, those things are likely to have more issues with fine print, and you'll want to lean maybe towards some shorter term things or segue situations while you're getting clarity about what the details are entailing. Focus on your health, focus on your creativity, focus on your partnerships, take the lesson that you might need to ask for help, and any of the things that are stuck in your life, you might actually need a key person to help get you out of those things. So just be thinking about that and be open, because it's very likely that somebody has already offered to help you with some of this and you've dismissed it because you say, no, I'm fine, I can do it. So have these words kind of go back into your consciousness and say, oh, I remember that this person said they can help me with that. I should call that person up, something like that. So people from the past are going to factor in a very prominent way in a long term, like starting now, for the whole rest of the year. If you want more resources about understanding these energies and how you can best use them, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com. I have tons of free blogs. Also, when you sign up at AnnieHelpsYou.com for my free email newsletter, you'll receive my monthly write-up of what aspects are occurring, what dates they occur, what you can expect to see from those aspects, plus the general tone of the month. And this February version of my newsletter, it has an extra retrograde bonus too. You also get my free virtual coaching program called Shine when you sign up for the newsletter. So you can do all that at AnnieHelpsYou.com. If you want written horoscopes by me, you can go to CozyBySweetStarlight.com. If you missed these websites, they're in the notes underneath the video as well. And if for some reason a link doesn't work, you can just look at what it is and put it in the URL. Every once in a while, I'll have someone say that there's an issue. But they should be fine. CozyBySweetStarlight.com not only has written horoscopes by me, but also has astrology for wellness blogs, yoga for the sun's movement through certain signs, herbal tea for the sun's movement through each sign, maximizing the sun's movement through each sign. I just have so many different things for you, free resources. If you'd like to be an astrologer as your profession, for part or all of a professional offering, or just use it for your self-development and improving your relationships, then you can see at beastropro.com, beastropro.com, or at AnnieHelpsYou.com, my course, Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. So I can take you from ground zero to professional astrologer with very, very comprehensive coursework that you can do at your own pace. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.